Yo bums, welcome back to the Sportsbumz podcast with Alex and Cody.
Alright, so on today's podcast, episode 1, we will be discussing top 10 players in NBA history for each position. This will be part 1, as we will do only point guard and shooting guard today, and on episode 2, we will do small forward, power forward, and center. So yeah, and I've been rambling for too long, so let's get started. So now we're going to do our top 10 point guards, and at number 10, I got Chris Paul. He's probably one of the most efficient point guards of the era, bro. Dude, he has a assist to turnover ratio of 5-1, which is ridiculously efficient. As most point guards right now are freaking 2-1 or 1-1 assist to turnover ratio. And obviously he would be much higher. He'd be probably top 5 or even top 6 if he had some sort of playoff success. But as we all know, this dude was literally the conference finals virgin a few years ago. And now he's probably the 2-pump chump because, he can't even last, bro. This dude. All right, so who you got at number 10?
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I have him one spot above, but at 10, I have Jason Kidd. One of the great point guards from the time we've been alive, the second greatest white point guard. Even though he had a bunch of DUIs, he's still a great point guard, and he's one of the all-time. He's top 5 in assists. Played on a bunch of different teams. Just a great all-around point guard.
Yeah, I also have him on the list, but it's, later down the list. And at number 9, I have someone who I think is highly overrated in a sense that you probably have higher on your list, and I have Steve Nash at number 9.
Oh my God, no,
dude!
My God.
This is the reason why. First of all, Steve Nash has the most 2 undeserving MVPs of all time. If you're telling me in the 2000 to 2010 era, Steve Nash has the same amount of MVPs as Shaq and Kobe combined. So those are 2 flawed MVPs, let's be honest. Those are 2 flawed MVPs. Second of all, when you look at his career, you just know it's the system. He was exiting his prime, and right when he was put in the D'Antoni offense, that's when he really started having these productions. And even though he puts up numbers and has regular season success, he has extreme lack of playoff success for the amount of talent he had around him.
Wasn't he on the Mavericks team that won the whole thing though?
No.
Oh, that was Jason Terry.
Yeah, no, that was Jason Kidd and Jason Terry and all of them. But dude, think about it. He had players like Sean Marion, Amari Stoudemire, Raja Bell, even Quinn Richardson, and even Dirk in his career, and he never even made it to a single finals. The 09 Magic, which is a way worse team with only 1 star player, made it to at least 1 finals in that era.
Yeah, I mean at number 9 I have Chris Paul instead of number 10, so I mean not too much difference there.
Yeah, that's not bad. So at number 8 I got the most athletic point guard ever, Russell Westbrook. Which I don't know why you wouldn't think he's a top 10 point guard. Just look at the numbers and just look at his athleticism alone, and he's clearly a top 10 point guard. I know he's inefficient, can't really shoot, has lack of playoff success, but just from his sheer talent alone, he should be in any top 10. This dude, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, they're all getting these 10 point, 10 assists, 10 rebound triple doubles when this dude's averaging 30. He was getting triple doubles that are 30, 15, and 12, bruh. You're telling me this dude's not in the top 10?
Okay, but every star that he plays with ends up leaving him. So, I mean, I had him he was the first one that was off my list. He's right at 11. So, I mean, at number 8, I have one of my personal favorite players. I have Gary Payton. Because, he's one of the greatest defenders of all time. And, he's top 10 in assists. Like I said, probably the second best defender of his time, but behind Michael Jordan. And, I mean, just a solid player.
Yeah, I don't even have Gary Payton on my list. I had all of these guys in the same tier. So if you interchanged Gary Payton, who would be 11 on my list, with Russell at 8, I'd be fine. From my 7 to 12, it's pretty much all interchangeable for me at least.
Gary's one of my personal favorites, so I feel I had to have him on my list. So I just had him at 8.
All right, number 7. I have Jason Kidd, which again it's a little high for me, but again, they're all interchangeable, but I just gave him like some of an edge because he probably has the most playoff success, like compared to all of the other ones. He does have a ring, even though it's later in his prime. He still was orchestrating that offense in 2011, even though he was pretty much starting to get washed up by then. He did lead a not as talented Nets team to a finals in 2002. And over his career, he just, like, people say, like, he's not a great shooter, but he literally has, like, one of the most made three-pointers in NBA history. So he really got better with his jumper, like, later in his career. So I didn't really knock him for that. And he's just an overall efficient leader. But what I will say is the reason why I have, like, these players from 7 to 12 lower on my list, because I just think, like, people like Jason Kidd and, like, Steve Nash, like, I don't even have John Stockton on my list, is because the true point guard, like the pure point guard is just, dude, the pure point guard is just simply overrated in a sense.
Oh.
Because, dude, name a pure point guard in the past, like, 40 years who won a championship in his prime, like, in their prime. No one besides Magic, because he's freaking 6'9". Because Isaiah Thomas, he's more of a combo guard. A pure point guard. Which pure point guard in their prime won a championship besides Magic? Magic is 6'9". He's literally, we've never seen, we'll never see again.
Curry.
Curry's not a pure point. That's a combo guard.
Yes, he is. Oh, all right.
I'm talking these pure point guards whose primary focus is to run the offense. Like, the reason why is because, dude, all these players have, like, elite scores on the team, and they don't need a pure point guard passing them the ball. Like, they just get buckets on their own. I don't need a Jason Kidd or a Steve Nash or a John Stockton, who, I don't know, probably the most overrated point guard in history, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, at number 7, I have Big O, Oscar Robertson, because, I mean, I feel like I got to throw one old head on the list. So, I mean, like, I have him at 7 just because of the triple-double and all the points he scored. So, I mean, I just threw him in at 7.
I'm fine with that, but I'm just wondering who you put ahead of him, because, like, there's no way. He should be at least top 5. Like, bro.
Nope.
He should be to me, he's at least top 5. All right. At number 6, I think this might be a surprise. I have Kyrie Irving at number 6. Dude.
Are you kidding me?
Every category he knocks off. We're talking about the dude, name me a more skilled point guard in NBA history, bro. He has the whole package, bro. Dude, what are you talking about? Bro, look. He has the best layup package of all time. Right? He has the best handle of all time. He has a post-game pointer. He has range.
He did not have the best handle.
Yeah, he does. Dude, he has the best handle of all time. Any move he got.
Jason Williams got better handles, and Jason
No,
Williams.
No, he doesn't. Kyrie's way
Jason
more.
Williams is a better passer, though.
No,
Jason Williams is a better passer.
I never said Kyrie was a better passer. Yeah, he is a better passer, but he ain't a better ball handler. He has one of the best pull-ups. He has range. He has the clutch ability. And people say, oh, he played with LeBron. Oh, that's the only reason why he's a champion. Oh, lack of play. Okay, look at Big O, who's also in your top 10, who literally only won a championship because of Kareem. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So how can you indict him for playing with LeBron?
I'm not indicting him for playing with LeBron. I just don't think he's played enough to where you can have him that high.
I mean, you have 6, 7 elite years, and you're literally I don't name a point guard more skilled than Kyrie. Like, you can't even name one. Like, in terms of skill and moves and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
you'll never see
talent,
that type of talent.
Just pure talent, yeah, I guess. But I mean, for me at number 6,
I value talent.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, for me at number 6, I have Isaiah Thomas. I mean, I'm really high on Isaiah Thomas, so I have him at number 6. I know he's probably not even on your list, but
nah, he's number 5 for me, bro.
Oh, okay.
5.
Okay.
And, yeah, dude, you're easily a top 5, 6 point guard in my opinion. If you beat, like, in your era, you beat Birds, Celtics, you beat Magics, Lakers, and you beat Jordan, like, all in one era.
And he beat Clyde too.
Yeah, you won rings in that, and probably, like, one of the toughest eras to win in. And you're literally like think about how many other great players were denied championships during that era. Like Barkley, Malone, Stockton. They
Yep.
were all denied championships in that era, and Isaiah, got the chips. And, clearly a top 5 in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, for me at number 5, I have Jerry West. I have the logo at 5. So, I mean, I feel like like we always say, he played against a bunch of dentists. So, I mean, I don't know if I can have, like, he's a great player and all, but I have 4 other point guards better than him right now.
Yeah, I actually have him in my top 3, but we'll get to that later. So at number 4, I have Oscar. Oscar, he's the OG triple-double, and I don't think we can discount, like, we can't, as much as, like, as common triple-double is, like, people say the triple-double doesn't matter and stuff like that. Okay, so if it didn't matter, why do only 2 people in NBA history average a triple-double? Like,
yeah.
I don't think we can indict people for averaging a triple-double. And second of all, he just, like, paved the way. Like, he was, like, the OG, like great black point guard. Like, you got to he paved the way, and he's like the pioneer. So, like, I kind of had to put him in the top 4 or 5-ish,
Yeah, I mean, for me at number 4, I got Curry. Look at Curry, man. So inspirational.
Bro.
We got Curry at 4. I mean, he's honestly changed the way how the point guard position is played. I mean, just by being an undersized point guard, but still being the best shooter of all time. And I mean, he's the only unanimous MVP in league history. I mean, that's got to count for something.
Yeah, I have him higher, dude. I think 4 is a little low.
See, I have people that you don't like both higher than him.
Yeah, players who haven't even won a ring yet, and Curry's already got 3 rings. Makes no sense, and revolutionized the game. All right, number 3, I got Jerry West. Again, he is probably like the first great icon. Like, he's like the icon of NBA. He's literally the logo. And his impact on the game is just like, his impact was so great that in a finals they lost, he won MVP, bruh. Like, imagine that. They lost the finals and he won MVP. That's how good he was. And like, you can't question his greatness. So,
I mean, for me at number 3, I have Stockton. I mean, he ran the best pick and roll of all time.
Come on, man.
All-time leader in assists. I mean, I don't know how you can't have the all-time leader in assists not even on your list. That's just blasphemy.
Bro, come on, dude. He literally averaged like 12 and 10 in his career. And let's be honest, like, 3 of them is just dumping the ball down to Karl Malone. You got this guy. Dude, tell me the difference between this guy and Mark Price.
Bro,
he just had Karl Malone. He just had Karl Malone.
He ran the greatest pick and roll of all time. Name me a more iconic pick and roll duo than Stockton and Malone.
Dude, he did not run the best pick and roll. He just was like the first great guard to run the pick and roll. It doesn't mean you run it the best.
Name me another duo that's a more prominent pick and roll duo than Stockton and Malone, though.
Okay, who cares if it's a better pick and roll duo when you can't even win?
The main job as a point guard is to get the ball to other players. He's the best at that. He leads all players of all time in assists. I don't know how you don't have him.
That's longevity, dude. That's longevity.
No, it's not. Karl Malone points his longevity.
Dude, no, it's the same thing. Stockton and the assists is longevity, bro. Just dumping the ball down, dude. Come on, man. You got this dude's not even in my top 10, bro. You kidding me? You got Stockton, bro. Dude, oh my God, dude.
Who do you have at 2?
Stockton. At 2, I got Steph Curry. It's no question he's second best point guard of all time. As much as I hate, like, the Curry fanboys who, like, all the 4-year-olds who want to be Curry, like, I don't, like, ride Curry. But, like, to me, he's clearly, like, he changed the way basketball has played. Like we don't even have to even talk about his, like, championships, his MVPs, his unanimous MVPs, his stats. We don't even have to talk about. We just, like now when you, like, go to the park, you just see kids hucking up threes, bro. Like, nobody wants to be like Mike anymore or be like LeBron because those players aren't relatable. They want to be like Curry. As much as I hate that, and I don't like it for, like, the AAU game where people just huck transition threes all game, it's no doubt his impact on the game is probably top 3 to 5-ish all time. So I don't think he could be any lower than 2.
I mean, for me, I have Nash at 2. So
dude, horrible.
I mean, I have Nash at 2. That's just where I have Nash.
Bro. Nash, who has no chips.
Bro,
over
let's be honest. Curry wasn't that great in most of his finals.
At least he got there, bro. Dude, Nash, who's a liability on defense.
So is Curry. Don't tell me
He's
that
not
Curry's not a liability on defense. They're both liabilities on
No,
defense.
he's not as big of a liability as Steve Nash.
Are you kidding
Curry
me?
can't guard the elite point guards, but he's not getting busted up by like Patrick Beverly.
Oh, he'll get busted up by Ricky Rubio though.
No, dude, when has that ever happened?
Bro, he's a liability on defense. Don't even try to tell me he ain't a
Not
liability.
as big of
on
a
defense.
liability as Steve Nash, dude. Bro, come on, man. Nash couldn't even win with all that talent he had, bro. He couldn't even make the finals with all the talent he had.
Yeah, because he had to go through Kobe every year.
Not every year, like the Mavs in 06.
You had to go through the Mavs in 06, and you had to go through the Pistons for 2 years.
Bro, they had the Spurs in 05. He couldn't get past the Spurs in 05 with all that talent.
I don't know. Who you haven't won? We know who you haven't won.
Yeah, it's like if he's not number one, like you just don't know basketball. It's Magic Johnson, no doubt.
Yeah, by
He's
far
the
best
clear
point guard all time.
Yeah, you know, he won, dude. He won a championship and MVP as a rookie, bro.
Yep.
The team was a first round exit team, like the year before. He comes in with the same team, and they win the championship and MVP, and he's a global icon. And make sure y'all use condoms too, because you know his career ended a little early because of that. You know.
Yeah. No, by far, Magic's the greatest point guard of all time, no question.
Yeah, no doubt. I think we at least can agree on something, which is that.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're doing top 10 shooting guards, and at number 10, I have Reggie Miller.
Oh my God.
I know Cody's gonna have him higher, but okay,
Bro.
Please tell me how in 17 seasons he's only a 5-time All-Star in 17 seasons. Like, don't you think he would have more All-Star appearances if he was that great as you think he is?
Yeah.
Like, he did play in the Jordan era. I know, but he did have his chances in 2000 and in 1999, but he couldn't get past the Knicks.
That's when he was past his prime, though. That's past his prime.
Okay, but still, he had chances in 1990 when Jordan retired. He had chances, but you know he couldn't get past the Knicks or the
Jordan
Magic.
could barely get past the Knicks at that point.
No, dude, it was easy. The only problem Jordan had was when he came back from retirement in 1995 or 1996, forgot, against the Magic, and he lost when he was wearing number 45. That's the only time he had issues. Let's be honest. Everyone knew Jordan was going to win the chips in the 6 years he won them. Maybe the last one is that was the one where he struggled a little bit, but all the other ones, it was literally a breeze, dude.
I don't know. I mean, for me at number 10, I have Joe Dumars. I know he's probably not even on your list, but I have Joe Dumars at 10.
It was close.
I mean,
it's close.
I mean, he was the second best player. Him and Isaiah ran the bad boys. I mean, that was predominantly all their scoring between those two players right there. And I mean, just a solid all-around player. Played for a decent amount of years. I mean, I have him at 10.
He was in that 11-12 range for me, but the reason why I didn't have him on the list because he didn't play as I feel like his impact on the Pistons wasn't as great as you think, at least, because think about how loaded that roster was. Isaiah was the clear leader, and I felt like the supporting cast, Dumars was a part of that. He wasn't that actual second option.
Oh, yes, he was. By far.
On some nights it was Mark Aguirre, who was a 30-point per game scorer with the Mavs before going to the Pistons. He had Vinny Microwave Johnson.
I guess, but I mean, I thought he was the number 2 option. I mean, yeah, you did have Mark Aguirre and you had Vinny Johnson, the first legit 6-man coming in off the bench. But I thought he was always the number 2. So. Yeah,
I can't disagree, but again, we're similar in where we would rank them. I would have them 11 or 12, and you'd have him at 10, so it's pretty similar. At number 9, I have Klay Thompson. I know you're definitely not going to have him on the list. The Warriors do not win those 3 chips without Klay. Well, let's be honest, they're not winning those.
That's right.
Maybe the second one, Durant's first year, because Durant was literally a god that series. But Klay he's literally the ultimate 3-and-D player. You put him on any team in history, he fits perfectly. He's literally a 3-and-D on steroids. I don't think there'll ever be someone who can shoot that well and still play defense at that level.
Yeah, I mean, he's a solid player. I mean, I don't have him on my list because, I mean, I feel like there are a lot of other players that played in the 90s and the early 2000s that played the shooting guard role a lot better than Clay did. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a really good player and all, but, I mean, he barely dribbles the ball. All he does is come off screens and shoot. And, yeah, he's a good defender, but how many All-NBA defense teams has he made?
I don't know, but I disagree about that he can't dribble. I just think they don't need him to dribble because he's so lethal off the ball. They don't need him to dribble. Like I think if you put him in a situation,
run off screens.
Yeah, because he's so dominant like that, and he spots up. Like he spots up all the time. But like if you put him in a team like where they would where he's the focal point of the offense, I think you would see him slash a lot more. Do one dribble pull-ups and all that. I believe so. I just think we just haven't seen that part of the game because they don't need him to dribble.
That. I mean, for me at number 9, I have James Harden. He's an absolute liability on defense. Absolute liability on defense. And I could probably dribble past him. That's how bad of a defender he is.
He's not as bad as you think. He's not as bad as you think, dude.
He had one of the worst defensive efficiency ratings for the past couple of years. Now, granted, he is one of the greatest scorers the game has ever seen. He's such an atrocious defender that you have to be good at both to be a solid. To be really high on my list.
You had Steve Nash in your top 3. He's a worse defender than James Harden.
No, he's not. James Harden's a
yeah, he is.
How did he win Shaq?
He has bad moments, dude.
He's a Shaq and a Fool MVP solely because of his defensive plays.
Oh, I didn't know Shaq and a Fool MVPs meant you were a worse defender. Like I didn't know that. Like he has moments where it looks like he don't care about defense, but I wouldn't say
he's a horrendous.
He's not a liability now. Like
he's an
last year he actually
liability.
played good defense. Dude, last year actually played good defense.
Liability.
I have him way higher, dude. To call a guy who can score that well, that skilled at number 9 is way too low, and we've seen sustained greatness already. At number 8, I have Ray Allen. I think he's definitely.
I have him at 7, but I can understand that.
Yeah, I almost put him over the guy at number 7, but I felt like the guy at number 7 was more of a number 1 type guy, you know. But you know, clearly in the top 10, probably the second best shooter of all time. I
have him as the second best shooter of all time. I have Reggie at 3, but I have him at 2.
No, I have Clay at 3, but we can
Reggie at 2
on another day. But I feel like people forget who Ray. Like people think Ray Allen is just a shooter. He's not.
When he was on the Bucks, the Supersonics,
they almost made it to the finals in 2001.
Yep.
But they went to game 7 with him against Iverson. People forget he was in the dunk contest. Like that's how athletic he was, even as a
when he was on the Bucks even on the Bucks and the Supersonics, like he was slashing all the time. Like he's not just a spot up shooter. Like he would slash and all that.
Yeah, people indict him for adapting toward his game. Like he realized, I can still be a star, like even in my later years, just by transitioning, just becoming more of a spot up guy.
Mhm. I mean, for me at number 8, I have T-Mac, because of his injuries, and I mean when he was playing, he was one of the most dominant forces in the league. But I mean, since the injury hindered his career, I couldn't put him as high as you have him.
Yeah, I have him a little higher. We'll get to that later. But at number 7, I have Clyde Drexler. I guess you could argue him to be higher, but his championship was sort of carried by Hakeem.
Yeah, it was.
He was the second option. I'll give him that. But you saw a clear decline in production once he got to Houston.
He was carried by Hakeem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I didn't put him as high as he could have been. You could put him at 5, and I wouldn't argue that.
That's
a lot of
these
are interchangeable.
I have him at 5.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, for me at number 6, I have Reggie, because I mean that he's arguably one of the greatest clutch shooters of all time. I mean, T-Mac had 13 and 36. He had 8 and 13. I mean, he could change the game. And I mean, him talking trash to Spike Lee, come on. I had to put him at 6.
Bro, but dude, Don't you find that suspect? In 17 seasons, he only has 5 All-Star appearances.
That's a little sus. That's a little sus, but I'll look past that.
That's crazy. That means you're not like a top, like, what is that, 23, 24, top 25 player in the league for 12 seasons.
That's a little suspect, but I'm gonna look past that.
All right. At number 6, I got T-Mac. And to me,
You mean
T-Mac
5?
is... no, we're at 6, dude.
Oh, I mean at 7, I had Ray Allen.
Dummy screwed up the list. Look at this dude. All right. Okay. We're actually on number 6, guys. Sorry about Cody being a dummy. But at number 6, I have T-Mac, who probably is one of the most talented scorers we have ever seen. People forget. Like, I know people are going to make the argument he doesn't have, like, longevity and stuff, but I personally value the peak of your career. Like, if you were that dominant in your, like, people say he didn't win in his peak, but, like, people got to realize he had nobody. Grant Hill got hurt. They spent all their money on those 2 players, so they couldn't have any more players because Grant Hill kept getting hurt. So I'm not going to indict T-Mac for getting screwed over by the goddamn GM who didn't know how to build a team where you can't just have 2 guys taking up all your cap space. And people forget, this dude went head-to-head with Kobe as the best player in the league during that time. This dude was averaging 30-plus a game, easily one of the most skilled players ever, who a lot of people look past.
Yeah. I mean, at 6, I had Reggie, but, I mean, I didn't say my 7. At 7, I had Ray Allen. I mean, my favorite team, the Celtics, and, I mean, Ray was a big part of the Big Three when they won in 07, 08, so I feel like I had to have Ray at 7 and then Reggie at 6, like I said earlier.
All right, at number 5, I have Iverson. Like, clearly, to me, a top 5 shooting guard. Talking about cultural icon, we will never see a player like Iverson. A guy who's only 5'10", averaged over 30 a game, and lead a team to the finals with no other All-Stars on his team.
I mean, he had a washed-up Dikembe Mutombo on his team and, like, Aaron McKee. Like, come on.
Yeah, like, bro, they got 2K generic players on his team, and he's carrying it at 5'10", bro. Dude, 5'10". That's literally like the average human height, literally.
Yeah.
Like, we'll never see someone at 5'10" that athletic with that handle. And he's just a cultural icon.
He has better handles than Kyrie. He's the one person.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Kyrie. Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't. Kyrie's different, bro. He does not have the change of direction and a change of speed that Kyrie has, and the hesitations and all that stuff.
Yeah, the hezzies. I mean, for me at number 5, I had Clyde Drexler. I had him a little higher than you did because, I mean, he did win the 1 chip, but, I mean, Hakeem carried him to that champ. And, I mean, he did make the finals one other time. We got swept by the Pistons, but, I mean, I had him at number 5.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I value talent more, and you value, like, probably championships and stuff like that more. So I can't argue that you put him that high. And number 4, James Harden, bruh. Like, dude, people have such a bad, like, I don't love James Harden, but I at least recognize his greatness, dude. This dude is one of the greatest scorers we have ever seen. He's top 5 greatest scorers we've ever seen, dude. Bro, this dude literally averaged 36 a game last year, 35 this year with Russell Westbrook on his own team. And this dude's the only guy who I've ever seen capable of getting 60-point triple-doubles. Have you ever seen that, dude?
No. I'm not arguing that he's not great on offense. It's just the fact that he's such a liability on defense. That's why I couldn't have him as high as you have him. I mean, his points are also skewed by the amount of free throws he shoots. So, I mean, that factored in a little bit.
Okay, so 60. We dock it down to 40. 40-point triple-doubles. That's so easy, man.
Okay, look at that. Russ. Big O.
Yeah, I had Russ on 8 at my point guards list, and the point guards were better than the shooting guards besides the top 3.
I didn't have Russ on my point guard list, and I had Harden at 9. At least I'm consistent.
Bro, I'm clearly consistent. I actually value talent because nobody can guard that step back he got, dude. Nobody.
That's true. I mean, for me at number 4, I had AI. I mean, he has one of the most iconic moments in NBA history with the step over and the practice speech. I mean, just there won't be another person like AI. Like he even had kids all over the country trying to dress like him, getting fake tattoos, cornrows. Like he had such a big image. Like we'll never see another one like it.
Yeah, I couldn't argue. I had a tough debate whether Harden was 4 or Iverson was 4. It was really close to me. Now we move in the top 3. I think we have the exact same top 3. I don't think it's really arguable. Like if you don't have this top 3, I don't think you know anything about basketball. Like even in this order, like it should be in the exact order. To be honest.
I mean, you could switch 3 with 4 depending on the person. Like let's be honest, you could switch 3 or 4.
Dude, but no, I don't. I think Wade is one of the most underrated, like underappreciated players ever. Like
no, he is. Like I feel like depending on the person, you could switch Iverson with Wade, but I have Wade at 3 because I mean, we've grown up watching Wade. And I mean, just to see him, he carried Shaq to that championship. Shaq wasn't in the finals. He carried a bunch of washed-up stars to that championship. And then, I mean, he supported LeBron. Like, LeBron doesn't win those championships without D-Wade.
Yeah, facts. Wade averaged 35 in that final series, which is absolutely ridiculous. And if it wasn't for Wade's unselfishness, LeBron is not getting those titles. He's not learning how to win. Like, he's like LeBron doesn't become LeBron without Wade's unselfishness, and I think that's really underappreciated.
Yep.
All right, number 2, we got Kobe, obviously.
Yep. R.I.P.
After his R.I.P. to him and all the legends that have died this year, and he literally was a carbon copy of Jordan. The only thing that doesn't make him Jordan was like, obviously like he didn't win like the 6 like completely. Like he did have Shaq for like 3 of them, but nonetheless, he's the closest thing we'll ever get to Jordan. And I think we can like even see that with like the culture right now. Like people really aren't Lakers fans. A lot of people are just Kobe fans, and they just become Lakers fans because of Kobe. Yep. Like Kobe is like, I don't think there's anyone who like pulls more of a fan base in history than Kobe. Like Kobe is like, he's just different.
Yep, Kobe's just on another level. I mean, it's Kobe. Everyone knows Kobe. Don't even need to say the last name. Everyone knows Kobe.
Yeah, like even when you just like shoot a paper ball in like class, like everyone just be on Kobe. Like exactly. It's different.
You don't yell anyone else. You don't yell Jordan. You don't yell LeBron. You yell Kobe.
Number 1, of course, the GOAT, Jordan.
Yep, the GOAT.
We don't even have to bring up the championships. We don't have to bring up the stats. He was just an ultimate icon. His shoes are still outselling like all the top players right now combined. Like nobody's wearing freaking LeBrons around school. They're wearing J's. They're wearing Jordans.
Yep.
Like the classic Jordan 1. People have like made shoes similar looking to the Jordan 1 because how big of a shoe that was. Yep. And he's just a cultural icon, and even though he's probably one of the worst GMs I've ever seen in my life, but that's nonetheless. In the GM list, he's the GOAT of being bad GMs, for being honest.
Yeah. There will never be another Michael Jordan. He was one of a kind. I mean, the dominance he had over the league. I mean, he stopped playing basketball entirely for 2 years, came back, and was still one of the best players in the league. I mean, you'll never see anything like that.
So that's it for today's podcast, Bums. Make sure you guys leave a rating or a comment on the pod and spread the word. Also, make sure you follow us on IG, which is left in the description. See y'all bums next episode.